How to stay sane while renovating a home with your whole family. Renovating a house may seem like a very specific, unnecessary skill to have, but when it comes down to it, not ending up mentally incapacitated proves rather difficult. In the summer of 2020, fresh out of my freshman year of high school, I began renovating my childhood home with mainly my mom and brother. My dad had just recently accepted a job offer in Iowa City, so the house needed to be sold as soon as possible so that we could all start our new life here. Through many projects and challenges, making sure that your family doesn't rip each other's hair out is an important and ridiculous task, but is necessary to ensure that everyone still loves each other at the end of it. First off, communication and solid foundations are a perfect basis to start with. It is extremely beneficial to make sure everyone knows what job they are supposed to accomplish in that day's time to discourage any miscommunication or altercations to break out. Every day, my mom would assign my brother and I to a specific job, and we were instructed to do our best to complete it by the end of the day. Sometimes those jobs were individual. For example, I had to rip out my bathroom flooring and he ripped out his, or we all worked together as a team, for example, ripping out the kitchen tile flooring for 3 days. All in all, making sure that everyone is on the same page is important to keep the peace in the family. Next, everyone should be putting in the same amount of effort. It can be very difficult to stay on good terms with someone if you feel as if they aren't investing the same amount of work that you are into a project. This exact situation happened many times in the summer of 2020. There were many instances where I felt as if I was working worlds harder than my brother, and that feeling is extremely frustrating. I could feel myself getting increasingly angry, but wanted to make sure that I didn't cause my mom any additional stress. In these situations, I tried my hardest to keep a clear head and focus on the work I was doing instead of the lack of work I felt he was doing. Following that, being prepared for obstacles and challenges being thrown your way is a good skill to have. My family and I decided to renovate a home at probably the worst time for supply in recent years. With COVID being at its peak in the summer of 2020, getting supplies and workers was very difficult. We had to fully rework most projects because of how hard it was to get materials in time. These factors make a substantial impact on the speed at which a renovation can be completed, so taking them into consideration is very beneficial. In addition, scheduling and time management can be a complete nightmare. When the kitchen was the main goal to finish, the sheer amount of times we moved around cabinets was absolutely ridiculous. Our flooring installer was working as quickly as he could, and we were moving things around as soon as he was finished with a certain room. With that in mind, planning is a key aspect of remodeling and making things go so much smoother and faster. Keeping a log of when things should be completed by and when people are scheduled to come work on specific projects is very important to keep everyone organized and things running correctly. Another aspect to renovating a home and keeping the peace is to remind yourself of everything you have accomplished together. My mom used to keep an album of pictures on her phone that we would look back through whenever we felt we couldn't finish something. This helped every one of us to get motivated again and feel like we were still getting everything done. Staying motivated is a key part of the renovation process, especially if you are doing it yourself. It can be very overwhelming to look at a home renovation as a whole, but taking it step by step and creating small goals helps everyone keep moving in a positive direction. Another big thing that we did to help us stay happy was always eating dinner together at the end of the day. Whether that was ordering our favorite comfort meal or making something very simple on the temporary plug-in stove that we had to use, it was always my favorite part. We would try and not talk about any projects and only talk about the good things to go to bed feeling happy and ready for a new day. This helped all of us to keep our motivation up and mend our relationships with each other at the end of a long day of projects. If you are completing a renovation with people you don't know, this may not be as important, but if you are doing it with family, mending your relationships helps a significant amount. Finally, we tried to have as much fun as possible during the days of demolition and remodeling. We would paint weird designs on the walls in the final color as it wouldn't show up anyway, and we would listen to all kinds of music that each of us loved and dance along as we pulled hundreds of nails out of the subfloor boards. Having fun helps so much to make the tasks at hand more interesting and feel a little less like hard work. In conclusion, the most important aspects of renovating a home and staying sane are staying organized, keeping a clear head, and working together to get everything done as adequately as possible. All in all, my biggest advice to remodeling a whole house with your family is to just hire someone to do it for you.